students. So this topic is related the different glands associated with the human alimentary canal. This topic is there from your chapter number 16, that is digestion and absorption, and we will talk about the main glands associated with the human digestive system. So if we talk about the different types of glands in human digestive system, there are basically three glands: the salivary gland, the liver, and the pancreas. These are the three main glands associated with the human digestive system. Now we will go for the detail about all the three glands associated over here. First is the salivary gland. As we all know that it is responsible for the secretion of salivary amylase, and it is present in releases its secretion in our oral or in our buccal cavity. So in human body there are basically three pair of salivary glands are there. Fine. So you can look in the picture also that the location of these three glands is, the first is the parotid glands. The parotids are the cheek glands. So you can see here, this is one of a parotid gland shown from the one side. Similarly, one gland is there on the other side of your cheek. Second is the submaxillary or submandibular. Mandible is called as the lower jaw. Fine. So submandibular means below the mandible it is. That means below the jaw it is. So you can see this gland is there, which is the submandibular gland. So we have two glands on the two sides of your lower jaw. The third one is the sublingual. Lingual means below the tongue. So here you can see that a pair of gland is there below the tongue on both the side, which is called as the sublingual gland. And you can see that these all the three pair, they are releasing their secretions into the mouth. This parotid is releasing on the lateral side of your oral cavity, and the submandibular and the sublingual is releasing its secretion below the tongue in the oral cavity. So this is about the salivary glands associated with the human digestive system. Repeating that once again: parotid, cheek gland; submandibular, below the jaw; and sublingual, below the tongue it is. Now the next type of gland is liver. As we know that this is the largest gland in the body, and it weighs about 1.2 to 1.5 kilograms in our body. And we know that it is situated in the abdominal cavity. Fine. And it has two lobes. We all are familiar with this, that it is having the two lobes. In case of the liver, we are having the two lobes. Fine. So each hepatic lobe are structurally and hepatic lobules are the structural and the functional unit of the liver, containing the hepatic cells. They are arranged in the form of cords. So you can see in this diagram, this is the liver, the two lobes, and each lobe of liver is further having this sort of hepatic lobules. You can see these hexagonal structures shown over here. These hexagonal structures are the different hepatic lobules which are there in the liver. And you can see this is the enlarged view of a single lobule. Each lobule is surrounded by a loose connective tissue which is called as the Gleason's capsule. So you can see there is a loose connective tissue surrounding the lobule is there. And even this is the enlarged view of a lobule. That single lobule has been shown with the section enlarged. So here you can see the hepatocytes. Hepatocytes means the liver cells. Here the liver cells are present over there. These liver cells are having the blood supply. You can see the central vein, it is located over here. This vein is having, these are the arteries which is giving blood to the hepatic cells. This one is the vein which is collecting the deoxygenated blood and collecting over here in the central vein. You can see over here, this is the central vein in the center. Similar over here, also the central vein is there in the center, and the blood supply, the complete network of blood vessel is there. Then in addition to that, the hepatocytes or these liver cells, these are secreting the bile juices. So you can see over here this green colored lobe is there, which is basically the bile ductule. It is collecting the bile juice from all the hepatocytes, and it is collecting over here in bile ductules, which will further give to the that is your gallbladder, that further will be passed on to over there. So here you can also see that here these at the margins they have shown these hepatic ductules which is collecting the hepatic juices, or you can say the bile juices from the liver. I hope this structure is clear to everyone. Revising it once again: two lobes of the liver. Each lobe is having different liver lobules. Each lobule is surrounded by a Gleason capsule. In the lobule, the hepatocytes, they are arranged in the form of the cords, fine, and they are having the rich blood supply over there. And these bile ductules, they collect the bile juice secreted by these hepatocytes or the liver cells. These pink colored are the hepatocytes or the liver cells. So coming back to the previous slide once again, the hepatic lobules are the structural and the functional units of the liver containing hepatocytes arranged in the form of cords discussed over here. These are the cords. Next one is each lobule is covered by a thin connective sheath called as the Gleason's capsule. So you can see over here they are covered by a Gleason's capsule. The bile secreted by the hepatic cells or the hepatocytes passes through the hepatic ducts and is stored and concentrated in a thin muscular sac called as the gallbladder. That we know that finally the secretion of these hepatocytes will move to the gallbladder and concentrated over there. The duct of the gallbladder, that is called as the cystic duct, along with the hepatic duct from the liver, forms the common bile duct. So for this we need to move to this diagram. So here you can see these are the two ducts coming from the two lobes of the liver. They have not shown liver over here, and this is the gallbladder. So these from these two lobes of the liver, this is a common hepatic duct, and this is the cystic duct. This is the cystic duct which is coming from the gallbladder, and they are making the common bile duct, which is further mixing with the hepatic duct coming from the pancreas. Fine. So going back to that last point once again, the duct of the gallbladder, that is the cystic duct, along with the hepatic duct from the liver forms the common bile duct. So I hope that point is clear to you. This is the common hepatic duct, this is the cystic duct, and they are making the common bile duct. Fine. Now the third gland in the human digestive system is the pancreas. So if we talk about the pancreas, it works both as exocrine as well as the endocrine. So exo and endocrine means, exocrine means that it secretes the different enzymes, and endocrine means it secretes the different hormones. Fine. And it is situated between the limb of the U-shaped duodenum. We know that this is the curve of the duodenum. As it is arising from the stomach, there is a curve of the C-shaped curve of the small intestine. This part is called as the duodenum. So in the U-shaped duodenum, in the curve of this, the pancreas is situated. The exocrine portion secrete the alkaline pancreatic juices that we know, which secretes the enzymes, and the endocrine part secretes the hormones like insulin and the glucagon, which help in metabolism of the body. Then next one is there the bile duct and the pancreatic duct open together into the duodenum. This bile duct, the green colored which is coming over here, and this is pancreatic duct which is coming from pancreas. They are fusing together, mixing together over here and making a common hepatopancreatic duct. Fine. So the common hepatopancreatic duct is there, which is guarded by the sphincter. So you can see when it is opening to the duodenum, there is a sphincter which is present over there, which sphincter is known as the sphincter of Oddi. Fine. So when this hepatic duct and the pancreatic duct together, it is making the hepatopancreatic duct. When it is opening to the duodenum part of the small intestine, it is guarded by the sphincter of Oddi. So this is all about the different glands present in human digestive system.